What is up, travelers? Welcome to my Sunforged Sentinel Forge Guard build guide. I want to quickly start by thanking those of you who provided feedback for my first video. I posted 3 or 4 in the morning on Reddit. Your feedback was really helpful. For those of you who provided it, thank you. Quick disclaimer about the montage video at the end of this video. If you choose to watch it, it is awesome. There is loud, aggressive bass, so if that is not your thing, if that is going to offend you, turn this video off at the end of the build guide and don't watch it, or just turn your sound off and watch it. This build is for empowered monoliths. You won't be able to level with this build. The skills we use, 2 of them are not unlocked until you specialize as a Forge Guard, and the Nova attack that will one-shot entire monoliths and bosses and objectives is not unlocked until you get 40 passive points into the Forge Guard class. I recommend to new players who want to try this build leveling with Warpath. It's a very easy skill to do the campaign with, and maybe if you guys would like, I can do a build for that. There are already a lot of Warpath builds out there that you can take a look at if you want to use those as leveling guides. But this build is for empowered monoliths, and I haven't really found any Sunforged Sentinel set build guides that utilize the build the way that I do. So take a look, guys, and see if you want to use it. We use the Sunforged Sentinel set. It gives armor and critical strike avoidance. It gives a lot of armor and critical strike avoidance. And for every forged weapon, we get increased armor, flat health regen. We get a chance to forge a weapon when we are hit. We get increased fire damage, melee fire damage, and ignite chance. So when we get 15 forged weapons out, we become very strong. I'm using an Aurora's Time Glass, which allows me to play very aggressively. It gives health back when I drop below 30%, equal to my health lost, not just from the hit, but my entire empty health bar I will gain back, and all of that will be converted to ward, and I gain haste. It's a 20-second cooldown. What a great item. You don't need this for the build. You can slot in an amulet with minion health or physical damage or physical or fire pen. You don't need this, but what a great item. Sunwraith, it gives a lot of fire stats, and melee fire damage is the main one that's going to boost our damage since we get such a huge increase to fire damage. Solaron Step is a huge crit multi, and we're able to wear this item and still have our resistances capped because of the inherent tankiness of our class. There's so much physical resistance in our skill passive, our passive tree. Our class tree has all of the Sentinel classes have, except for Paladin, have physical resistance, so we're able to utilize those. And we get an inherent 35% physical and fire resistance when we specialize as a Forge Guard, as well as get 3% armor every time we're hit in the last 10 seconds. It stacks up, so we get a lot of armor too. Our Smelter's Wrath will always crit, which is why we wear this. Tome of the Elements is a great sustain item. It gives us defensive stats as well and chills enemies around us. All of these Exalteds are giving health to my minions and myself, strength, some minion damage, which is not necessary. I would prefer a different Exalted, but I don't mind this affix at all. And capping our critical strike avoidance and poison resistance here, as well as giving us some increased fire damage. All of these idols give health and resistances, some increased area to forge strike. Our blessings, we have the glyphs, so we get more glyphs of despair, rings, nice health roll. I want to change this to two-handed mace. Maybe I can increase the chances of upgrading my Sunforged hammer. Big lightning resistance roll. Who cares about this one? I don't know. I'd like to upgrade this or change it to a grand critical strike avoidance one. That though, or necrotic resistance. There are a lot of useful ones I could get here. I just want to increase the value of the roll. Who cares? And this is the only useful one. I'd like to upgrade it, and 15 is all we need. So let's look at the skills, but first the character stats. You want to get as close to or above 2,000. Get as much of all of these stats as you can: strength, vitality, endurance, and critical strike. Avoidance you need to cap by the time you get to empowered monoliths. The skills we use are Rebuke. It gives defensive utility, 80% damage reduction, as well as 45% elemental damage reduction. Redemption heals us, so we're not taking damage and we're healing and getting mana regen and mana gained on hit. Burst of Speed is a nice way to have some movement and attack speed at the end of the channel for whatever we're going to do next. Dash, Lunge is our dash, get 2 charges of it. So we have 2 charges of it, and Unstoppable allows us to be invulnerable, so that's very nice. This ability is a lot of fun. You can use it in a lot of unique, creative ways. Explore what walls you might be able to dash through. You can dash to things off screen, which is very fun. And you can literally dash the length of your screen. Volatile Reversal is our mana pot. It gives us mana back. Grab all the cooldown reduction you can without taking more damage. And it creates Void Rifts, and enemies hit by our Void Rifts take 30% increased damage, which is very nice. Forge Strike is going to pump our forged weapons out for us, so we want to get attack speed. And Beneath Solarum gives us no cooldown. This attack initially comes with a very long cooldown, so you definitely need to grab this node. And mass production will get our forged weapons out quicker. Well-forged weapons increases the number of them and duration, and grab detonating and ignited ground, so we are putting ignite on everything for our smelter's wrath. Tempering blows will do more damage to targets with ignite. Volcanic mastery guarantees a critical strike at full charge. Brightsmith converts our attack speed to increased crit chance when we don't fully charge it, which is kind of nice. Sometimes we can crit when we don't fully charge it. We are really speccing into this node for Valiance, which is 60% more damage against rares and bosses, and you have to grab Crucible, which will turn this into a Nova. For passives, in the Sentinel tree, Fearless, Armorclad, and Valiant Charge all go very nicely with our skills and items. There's really nothing else you should be taking. These 2 points put anywhere. For our Void Knight passive tree, 10 points into Abyssal Endurance. There's really nothing else here that is useful to us except Devouring Blade, which isn't going to be as useful as this, capping our resistances and health. Dark Maw is great sustain, since we will be one-shotting entire mobs of enemies. We'll absorb all of their health on kill, or rather 5% of their health, but it will fill up your health bar. It's great sustain. Void Corruption is 1 point for an additional crit multi. That's a very well spent point, and Doom Knight gives us all of the stats we want and need. I'm taking all of the damage nodes for empowered monoliths. When I was leveling with Warpath, I took the defensive nodes. Take whatever feels right to you, but when you get to empowered monoliths, you'll probably find yourself needing to respec into these damage nodes, because these defensive ones all will fall off pretty hard, while the extra damage suddenly, while early game, it doesn't really affect you too much because you have no ways of increasing the value of these nodes. When you have the entire set and 15 forged weapons and the items you need, this damage actually is meaningful. Smelter's Might is the best node on the tree. Get 10 points into it as soon as you can. Might is also a really good node. Get 6 points into that. 1 point into Folded Steel for your maximum +2 forged weapons. Infinite Bulwark has great utility, and it leads to Liquid Iron, which gives physical resistance as well as less damage over time taken. 30% when you pop a pot, and Molded by the Forge is giving us increased damage. So that is the build, guys. I'm going to run a monolith real quick to show you how quickly you can do them. Let's see if there's anything here that is useful to me. Alright, I guess we'll just take the runes and start moving up the other side of the tree, because it's maybe not the most efficient way to finish this tree, but honestly, it's just a matter of preference. I'll be expanding the other side of the tree and doing a shade on the other side, that's all. So we can hit things with Forge Strike whenever we want to, but we don't have to. We can just dash to the objective. I guess it's this Ice Goliath. We have 15 forged weapons out, so we should be able to one-shot everything here. And this guy revived, no problem. And the other one is right here, so as you can see, we're doing this very nice and quick. Alright guys, so that is the build. If you are interested in watching the video I took the time to make for you guys, the montage is coming up. Again, disclaimer, there's loud aggressive bass, so turn down your volume or turn it off completely if you don't want to hear it. Guys, thank you for watching this. Post any questions or comments you have in the video. Give it a like, a thumbs up if you liked it. And this is my first build guide I've ever made. This is only my second toon in the game, and I'm really happy with how it's gone. I'm really happy with this build that I'm gonna say I've created it because I haven't seen anyone else utilize this set the way that I have. Guys, let me know what you think about it. Peace and love, and have fun out there, travelers. Goodbye. Here's the montage.